Hello and welcome back to HTA Elite. Today we are in Bahrain, the first round of Season 2. Really excited for a good race, and today I'm not alone. I'm alongside V8 Field. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Um, I think today we have an exciting race, apart from the fact that it's the first race of the season. It's also a good track with 3 DRS zones, so we should be able to see good racing today. Do you think that we will see anyone making crazy moves, or if we will see many overtakes today?
Absolutely, the quality of this grid is absolutely otherworldly. Many fast drivers can really put on a show today. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that. We'll have to remember that we're getting closer. Like the season should have started this weekend, but in the real F1, but Australia got cancelled and Bahrain got cancelled too. So today we will see some action in a track that in this season probably we won't see, or maybe later on in the season. But fortunately, we have a PS4 and a game to actually see some action in this track. Um, in this season, I have to say there's been some changes as some drivers left, as Liam partner left, but we can see some new drivers, or at least some new permanent drivers like Leroy Forbes, that probably he will be racing fully in this season, but mostly the main drivers that were in the previous season remain still. Um, who do you think right now? Who would you put as the favorite to win the title?
Uh, that's a tough one, but I've got to say that the CRG boys are definitely going to be up there.
Yeah,
Fighting.
definitely. I have to agree. Both of them. Last season they showed an amazing level. They completely dominated the season, and they repeat as teammates in Williams. Probably, I have to agree that they'll still dominate, and maybe behind them. Who would you put on top after those two drivers?
It's just such a close championship. Very hard to predict any of these guys, really. I think they could all put on competition for each other.
Yeah, I have to say last season we saw many drivers sometimes in some circuits challenging for the victory. I have to say that maybe people like Phoenix didn't have the best of the lucks, but we saw some mentalism guys going for the victory. But I think that when you have that experience like Sparks or CRG Gamer have, it's just really difficult to make, like, to be a challenger for all the races, and probably that consistency, sorry, that they had in the previous season, probably that's the key factor for their success, and probably this season we will see the same. I hope that many drivers can put the things difficult for them, but seeing what happened in the previous one, it's really difficult. We're heading to qualifying. Here, there's no risk of rain, so we should see a dry session. Um, who do who do you think will take pole today in Bahrain?
Pole position, again, it's going to be so close. Definitely CRG boys will be up there. Then you got guys like Frederick and Faster Racer and all of these guys. And Forbes is even improving a lot, so I definitely think he will be up there.
Yeah,
Bit leading.
definitely. Forbes, I have to say that last week in PSEL, if I'm allowed to name the league, he put an incredible show. He was he was having a battle with Jarno. You know that's surprising. You know, an ex Sport driver, and for some couple of laps he was able to challenge those guys. Unfortunately, he had an incident and he had to pit, but if he has the same pace as he showed last week, he should be on top. But well, I think that probably I'm gonna make a bold prediction, but I think Buster Racer is gonna go on top today. I think he has a really good pace. Last season he was up there with the CRG boys and is one of the main runners for the title. So I think it's gonna be close. We have 17 minutes remaining. Some drivers have gone under outlap. And let's see who's the first driver to put on a competitive lap. What's in the strategy, and bear in mind that this track has a high level of degradation in their tires. What strategy should drivers follow?
I definitely think that they should involve hard tyres in some point in their race. Guys starting it outside the top 10 could maybe try a conservative strategy and go for the mediums to hards. Guys in the top definitely going to have to push that, save their tyres quite a lot. Frederick was the first one to come out, but he's coming back into the pit, so he might be fitting a different set of tyres here. But Loney's on the hards, and he's just started his lap, so he'll be the first one.
Probably Frederick just went on a bunker lap, to use the time, because if you plan to do a decent lap on hards, you have to wait, and probably most of these guys that are on hards at the start will finish the quali session with mediums, or that's what I think. Right now we are on board with Loney. He has just finished the first sector. Loney actually had I would say, a disappointing performance last season. I mean, I expected much more from him, but he was not up there. I don't know if he has practiced more for this upcoming season and if he's gonna put a challenge for the top guys, but he really needs to start well. Right now he's finishing the second sector, so he'll be the first, as you said, to finish a lap. And let's see what he can do. We also have, let's see, some new boys like Cohen. We can see Limit Racing Cohen. He was in TTG. I haven't actually watched him. I don't know if you know Cohen, if you have watched him before.
I do know Cohen. I've raced him a couple of times. Definitely a talented driver, and I think he can put up a fight with these guys.
Yeah, we can see Loney put a 128.5, but that was not fast enough, and immediately Buster Racer improved and beat that lap. Meanwhile, we have many yellow flags in the circuit, probably guys just going slow to let other people overtake them. And let's see who's finishing the lap right now. Oh, Kiski, 128.3 in the Alfa Romeo. That's not a bad lap at all. Let's see what Nathan is able to do. I have to say that the MNT guys during the last season, they were improving a lot. I mean, they started with not a great performance, but in the end they were able to be up there and challenge for podiums. As Nathan goes up to 4th with a 128.7, but he's overtaken by Gamer, that is now up to 4th.
Bob's up to be on a pretty solid lap right now. He's just going to cross the line. That is third fastest for fourth. Only a couple tenths down from Vasta Racer. Currently he's unchallenged to the top. So he looks to be the guy to beat this weekend. Here in Bahrain, he's the one with the pace.
Yeah, at the moment it seems like that, but don't forget about Sparks, because he's a really talented driver. He's shown many times why he's a title contender for the why he's a title contender, and he's now finishing the second sector. What is he gonna be able to do? It seems like he's going fastest, but we'll have to wait till the last couple of corners to see when he crosses the finish line in what position he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be able to beat Buster Racer, or he should be able to do that. He now
Absolutely.
heads, and he's
Buster Racer.
Yeah, and he beats by 1/10 exactly.
I saw on Vasta Racer's last lap coming out of the tight right-hander in the third sector, just the penultimate corner, he actually lost the back end just a little bit, so I think that cost him maybe a tenth or two. But definitely that Renault's got more pace in the tank.
It's really difficult to nail a lap with the hards. I mean, I think it's the this is gonna be like a silly joke, but it's the hardest compound to use. You know, it's really difficult to have grip on those tires, and probably people need more than one lap to try and put the best lap on the board. So yeah, probably most of the drivers have to still improve, but we'll keep an eye. Right now, Frederick is on his out lap on the hards. There's still 11 minutes remaining, and at the moment I don't see that much action on track, but we're watching Leroy, who improves by 6/10, 1:29.6, but still really far from the leaders on those hards.
These guys have definitely got more pace, and don't forget they are only on the hard tyres. They could still come into fitting medium tyres when the track rubbers in, and there's going to be a lot more grip out there, so this is not the whole time. They're definitely going to go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, definitely, and probably most of the drivers we're watching now on hards, they'll just go on mediums for sure, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. As we can see, wait, I was watching someone, but I lost it.
Frederick seems to be starting his first lap. He is on the hard tyres as well.
Yeah, it's Frederick. Let's see.
3 drivers yet set a lap.
Yeah, Harrison David, Frederick, and Cohn. And Harrison David, he was I think a head admin of the owner of Levitt Racing. He left, and I have to say he's a pretty solid driver. I mean, he raced in one race in Brazil, I think it was, and he was challenging for the win. Unfortunately, he didn't win it on pens, if I'm not wrong. But what is he gonna be able to do? He's right down and out lap. Meanwhile, we are on board with Frederick. As we can see, he locks up into that left-handed corner. Really difficult because it's really easy to lock up. As we can see, his Toro Rosso teammate giving him slipstream, but is it gonna be enough to help him to set a competitive lap? We don't know.
Through the first sector, so we're gonna have to see if he is through the second sector. Doesn't seem like it, so he made a mistake with that lockup, but it's still looking to be a solid lap nevertheless. Definitely going to be in the top 5 here.
Yeah, probably. That 1:6.5. Actually, it's a solid second sector, so let's see how he can finish. And that slipstream that Forbes is giving him puts him up to 6. Wow, that's close. Between Lonnie, Forbes, and Frederick, we can see less than a tenth between those 3. Interesting. As now
finishes lap 107.6, I believe, through the second sector, so not strong compared to the top guys from him. That's the way it's that car. In the 11th.
Yeah, he probably not happy with that lap. As we can see, Forbes, he was improving 1/10 in that first sector. Probably he can improve even more. Being really careful to not lock up in that left-handed corner. I have to say that turn 10 is one of the most difficult turns for no assist users, you know, because it's really easy to lock up, and in the race, if you're behind a car, it's really easy to miss the braking. And let's see what Forbes is doing. 2.5 tenths down. How is he gonna finish the lap? He has CRG gamer ahead. That slipstream is definitely helping him. And
Homburg with sparks, and he's quicker through the first sector even. So he's looking to improve on this time.
ooh, Yeah, goes up to second. Impressive. As he lets CRG Gamer pass. And now Sparks is running second as... Ooh, that's a really good lap from Buster Racer. But look at Sparks, because he's fastest again in the second sector. But is it gonna be enough to overtake Buster Racer? I don't really know. Both put in a good show tonight. Pretty close from each other, and it seems like Buster Racer is not gonna give up that easily. And let's see what Sparks is gonna put on. Ooh, 127.8 for 2. That's half a tenth slower than Buster Racer. Ooh, we can
Good
see,
luck,
yeah,
nevertheless.
we can see some sparks between both of them. And let's see, yeah.
That's good from him.
And right now I think Lion is on a lap. I don't know if he'll finish it, but it seems he's going really, really fast. 164 in the second sector. He has some traffic ahead, but probably they won't block them. Forbes gets out of the way. He's heading to the last corner. And what is it gonna be for Lion? 128 probably? Yeah, it is 128.4. He goes up to 6. And look at that battle for 6 right now between Frederick, Lonnie, and Lion. That's really close.
Loney's on a lap right now, and he's 2 tenths up through the second sector. So this is looking to be a time to put him ahead of Harrison David and maybe ahead of his teammate, who's in 4th place right now. You can watch him as he comes across the line. Where's he going to put that Alfa Romeo? He's going to go 3rd fastest couple through the 3rd sector. 3rd driver to get into the 1 minute 27 is a very good time from him there.
Yeah, definitely. But look at those 7 lap hards, you know. Probably he'll do a lap on mediums, but he needed at least 3 laps or 4, you know, doing a lap to set that time. So probably, I don't know what he'll be able to do with the mediums. I think he'll go to the mediums, but if he's not able to put a competitive lap on the first lap, probably he'll have then difficulties with degradation and all that. But still, solid lap from Lonnie. This is what I was talking about at the start. He needs to put a good show on tonight, because he's fast, but he didn't have the lag he would like to have in the previous season. And probably this is the night to prove that he deserves to be there. By the way, while some drivers are still on the pits or completing their final laps or whatever, I'm gonna take a look at the comments. As we can see, Machine Fishy saying hello in the chat. Hello, Fishy. And we can also see Rich 500, who was a driver in HTA Elite last season, but it seems like he's not here anymore. Wishing good luck to everyone, and he thinks that it's gonna be a good race. So let's hope that it's a good race.
Buster Racer has come out on a set of medium tyres, so we're going to expect to see everyone else probably follow suit. You can see Sparks is also out on those mediums. So this is the time to put in these fast laps. Now we're going to see the push for pole position.
Yeah, and take a look. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that would be a mistake. That would be like committing suicide, you know. So drivers are being clever, and we can see Nathan improving his time by 8/10. That's probably, if he finishes a lap well, that would give him pole, but it would then be a big gap, or at least big enough gap to be on pole permanently. So probably we'll see a 127.5, no, 127.7, and that's 14,000 of a second faster than Buster Racer. But probably that time will be improved, definitely.
I'm on board with Buster Racer right now. He's just coming through the 1st sector, about to hit the split, so we're going to have to see if he's going to improve. And he's 2 tenths up, but already he's going to be 2 tenths clear of Nathan
Yeah.
through this lap, and that's not even. He's only 1/3 of the way done. So expect a lot more pace from Vasta here.
And may I interrupt you, but right now Frederick in the Toro Rosso is finishing his lap, and I have to say that the Toro Rosso guys are putting a really good show, a really good team show, because they are helping each other with slopestream in the key parts of the circuit. So what is it gonna be, a 1:27.6, fastest but not enough. As we can see now, Buster, oh, Kiski, 1:27.0, that's actually a decent time, but what's gonna Buster Racer do? He's finishing his lap, heading to the final corner. He have to watch out for that exit. Oh, he loses a bit of back end, but what is it gonna be? 1:26, probably 1:27.009. Well, 8. And that's fastest, but ooh, that's the top two are really close. And right now Sparks also finishing his lap, going up to 7th gear. He'll have to watch out for that exit and watch out for traffic. And let's see what he can do. I think traffic is being a key factor here today. And he said one. Wow, that's really close. 4,000 of a second ahead of Buster Racer. Amazing stuff by Sparks. What a lap. Definitely what a lap. And meanwhile Zero Gamer goes up to 4th, and we can see many drivers finishing their laps. What do you think of that lap?
That is so close there. That was a really strong lap from him. And I'm actually watching LeBron right now. Frederick gave him the toe. That Ford just crossing the line from him there. LeBron's on his lap, he's about to finish it.
And do you remember when I told you that Lonnie would have to watch out in his laps on mediums? Because if not, he would start on those 7-lap hards. Well, it happened. I think he has bottled it. I don't know if he's improving his time. He's definitely 5/10 away, so he'll need a miracle on that final sector. So probably, unless the guys behind overtake him on the table, he's gonna start on a 7-lap hards, and that's gonna be horrible for him.
Well, it looks like that Harrison David has just gone purple through the middle sector, so I think he'll be overtaken by him there. He's just gonna have to hope that the guys behind him overtake him. Here comes Harrison David.
Yeah. Ooh.
Good from him there.
I mean,
and yes, Loney is out of the top 10, so that's a
it has saved him.
I'd say.
Yeah. And it's surprising because look at that top 4. I mean, that's really close. I mean, 70 thousandths of a second. It's crazy. And that's probably a sign of the race we're gonna watch today, because generally on quali we see some drivers that have a good quali pace, then in the race disappear, but generally here is the opposite. Generally they put a lap on quali, but generally everyone improves their pace on the race. So probably we'll have to keep an eye on drivers like Forbes, CRG Gamer, and probably I would say Lonnie, because he showed that he had the pace, but that mistake has cost him probably a top 5 there.
Well, hopefully he can have a charge through the field, starting from 11th on the grid. He's going to have a fresh set of tyres, so he is going to be the main contender to be starting up front. He showed on his lap on those 6-lap old hards that he has got the pace to contest with the guys like Sparks, Vasta, and all the guys at the front.
Yeah, definitely. And as the qualification reaches the end, the results are the following. On P1 we see Sparks. Just behind him we can see Buster Racer. In 3rd is Kiski with the Alfa Romeo. 4th is Harrison David. 5th is Sparks teammate Siri Gamer. 6th it's Forbes In 7th, we can see Frederick. In 8th, Lion. 9th, Kilcree. And in 10th, Nathan. Outside the top 10, Lonnie, LeBron, Phoenix, Kornhoff, Cone, and Leroy. Wow. So I'm excited for the race. I mean, it seems like we're gonna have a really good show on track. Well, as everyone selects their setups and their fuel and everything, I'm gonna ask you. Well, this is actually what I call the cursing of the drivers, but it's also called prediction. Who do you who do you think it's gonna be the top 3 today?
Top 3, I'm gonna throw out, in no particular order, I'm gonna say Vasta Racer, Sparks, and Gamer, but then I think that guys like Forbes and Kiski are definitely going to be contesting them. So is Harrison David, saying he didn't have much practice, but to put on a lap like that on no practice is definitely showing that he's got the pace.
Yeah, definitely. I agree there. Probably my top 3, if I should say. Oof, it's difficult, but I think that Buster Racer will probably take the win. He didn't take pole, but it seems like Sparks and Buster Racer are pretty equal in Bahrain. I'm gonna put Forbes in 2nd, and I'm gonna bet that CRG Gamer is gonna be 3rd. And you'll ask yourself, why don't you put Sparks in the top 3? That's crazy. Probably it is, but in one of the races last season, I predicted that Sparks would crash, or he would bottle, and he did. And I think it's gonna happen the same in Bahrain. I don't know why, but I have a feeling, an intuition,
I think
So
everyone's just want to keep their nose clean into turn 1. That's really going to make or break their races if they can have a good first lap, to be honest.
yeah, definitely that's the key to a successful race. I would say drivers will have to watch out in that turn 1, because it's really easy to make contact with the car you have ahead, and any mistake in the braking and your race is completely ruined. So we can see Sparks braking, getting all the drivers together, so his tires do not get cooler when he stops in his grid position. And let's see, we have 29 laps ahead. Any coincidence with the grid we have now, it's pure luck, pure coincidence. So we should see a really good race tonight. Let's see, because Leroy is way behind as he's getting out to his spot. And one quick thing, probably I think that Leroy won't be able to do a decent race. I mean, he's starting to do without assist, and joining a league that runs without assist is just crazy. But let's go on, as we can see the first red lights going on just now, as we have 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And away we go. We can see the Williams having issues with the start. We can see the Renault trying to have the move as he's moving to have the slipstream, and he's going round the outside, but he cannot have the move. He's trying to keep the car there, but Sparks closes really, really well, and now the Red Bull will have a look into the Renault. And meanwhile behind we can see some drivers having issues, some contacts, but we haven't seen many incidents. At that McLaren trying to dive into the inside of Forbes, but there was not enough space, and we can see the Alfa Romeo trying to hold round the outside, but that was really, really difficult to do and to accomplish. As we can see, Loney went on sets of mediums. Well, probably most of the guys we can see they've gone for mediums, only 4 drivers on hards. So let's see, we can see the McLaren drivers side by side into turn 10. Oh, when that has locking up, going really, really deep into braking, and he just overtakes Phoenix, and that's Leroy. Leroy trying to make up some places, as he had a really good start, and at the moment he's shutting my mouth. So really good stuff. Oh, and there he goes. He went a bit
Running a
deep.
bit wide.
Yeah, and Nathan, I think he made contact with Leroy. Meanwhile, at the front, as we head to the end of lap 1, we can see Sparks leading. He holds that position really, really well. Buster Racer remains in second, and Harrison David in third. Kiski lost the position. CRJ Gamer remains 5th. Frederick is 6th. Forbes 7th. Lonnie gained some position at the start, becoming, well, getting 8th. Lion and Kilcree close that top 10. Wow. Any thought on that first lap?
It was a pretty clean first lap. There was a bit of contact and 3 wide from guys in the back, but at the front it was almost perfectly clean. Really great getaway from Sparks, and he's got a pretty nice gap to Vasta Racer right now. Harrison David made a pretty decent move on Kiski. Now he's up to the podium positions. Kiski's down into 4th. The little battle going on right now.
Yeah, look at Lonnie. Yeah, going for the inside. And they are still side by... Nah. Oh, but look at that. The Lion going round the outside of Frederick. He is trying to make the move, but that's really, really difficult to make it work in that part of the track. And meanwhile, behind Nathan, he lost the position to Lee again. I don't know if he made a mistake or what, but he's losing a lot of positions. Now Kornhoff is up to 13th. The Racing Point is having some issues. Phoenix having some issues. I don't know what's happening. Oh, when he almost loses the back end of the car, definitely. I don't know what's happening there, but yeah, the Racing Point is not as at its best.
Been a really good start from Leroy here. He's almost up into the points. He's made up 5 positions, but you might have just seen he's already got a 3-second time penalty. Only on his second lap. Oh, that's Cohen going a bit wide at the back there. He could have held on to it though. Not a good start from Cohen, but Leroy's had a very decent start to his race. And oh, Nathan going around the outside into turn number 1.
Oh, that's bold. But he make it work, and I think Leroy has front wing damage. If I'm not wrong. Yes, in the left side of the end plate. Yeah, definitely he has damage. And he'll lose some worthy time. Unfortunate for Leroy, as he made a good start, and I was going to say that he was losing lots of time to Kilcree, and now probably we know the reason why. He had dead damage. I don't know if he would have been able to do a better race if it wasn't for that front wing damage. But at the moment, probably he's a bit screwed. And meanwhile, at the front, we can see Buster Racer. I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised, but Buster Racer is holding there 5/10 way. And now he'll have a big chance to try and overtake Sparks with DRS enabled. So let's see what happens. He's now going around the last corner, and he will have now a big chance to try and make the move work. He's closing up the gap, but it's not gonna be enough. And as I've seen in these races, most of these drivers are not interested in battling at the start because it's basically losing time. Meanwhile, Gamer overtakes Kiski, but yeah, generally they prefer to not battle because you lose time, and that's just silly battling because you still have 25 laps remaining.
Kiski spun.
Oh, he did a battle. Unfortunate.
He went into the back of Gamer coming into turn. Is that turn number 3 or 4?
10-4, yeah.
Well, he just went a little bit too deep on the brakes. I don't think he's got any wing damage, but he lost the back end. The track, the wheels just stepped out.
Leroy is off.
That's Leroy.
Yeah.
Unlucky for him. He had a really good start.
Yeah, definitely, and he gets a 3-second time penalty. But that's what I mean. When you are not used to race without assist, it's just really difficult to keep it regular. You know, to keep it constant, and probably that's one of the main issues that Leroy will have to deal with. Meanwhile, at the front, we can see Buster Racer closest The never, nah, he's 5/10 away. But will he try the overtake though? He's way too far and he'll probably do what he always does. Yeah, he puts ERS mode to none and he's pretty close. He could try the move, but probably both of them are not interested. As we can see that Harrison David is closing up, CRG Gamer is 3.2 and behind we can see action between the two McLaren teammates. Lion trying to get that position back as he's going down the inside. We will have a safety car. No, he retired manually in the pits. Well done, Leroy. And good move from Lion. He went for that inside gap and he's now back to 9th.
Was a pretty tidy move from Lion there on his teammate. They kept it clean. We're looking back at the front though. I think that what Vasta Race is doing, he's just fitting his mind into the mantra that you can't win the race in the early laps, but you can certainly lose it. So he's just trying to keep out of trouble and keep it clean. Try and not make any silly, rash moves on Sparks, but he seems to be closing in.
Yeah, and yeah, it's and that's probably a sign that both of them are exactly the same pace. Like it did, if it was the opposite, you know, Bastard Racer in front and Sparks behind, it would probably be exactly the same. And yeah, as I said, one of the main reasons why they don't battle is probably to keep the tires alive, you know, on those laps. And because if you start battling, you let the guys behind catch you. As we can see, Lonnie making the move on Forbes. Let's see if he can now start pushing and go for that fourth place.
Lonnie's had a really good start here. He's got 6th position into 5th place, but there's 2 seconds between him and Gamer, who seems to find himself in a race of his own. He's in his own little space here. He's lost touch to the front 3, but he's broken off on the guys in the midpoint scoring positions. So he's just having his own race and keep it clean and keep it on the track. That's what you want to be doing in these early laps.
Definitely not the race he wanted, probably. I mean, he generally gets us used to seeing him fighting with Parks, but today it seems like he's just on another race. I don't know if it was because he lost time with Kiski and that cost him those 3 seconds, because since I've watched him in 4th, he has kept that gap constant, you know, as he now loses some time and the gap extends to 4 seconds. And take a look at Buster Racer, because once again he's 5/10 away. He has DRS, and probably as you mentioned, yeah, there's no interest in making the move. They just want to go ahead with the race, because as you said, you cannot win the race on lap 7, but you can easily lose the race on lap 7. And Kill Creek gets the position back, and Frederick and Kiski going side by side. They make contact. Now Kiski will have a big opportunity to make the move on turn 4. He's going into the... No, he doesn't go into the inside, but we'll see Frederick going deep into braking and locking up, and Kiski almost makes the same mistake as he did, being just behind CRG Gamer.
It seemed like he got on the power a bit too early there, and back end stepped out, and he did well to save it there, but he definitely could have been a bit closer to Frederick, who locks up. Coming into turn number 10, a very tough corner to get right. I'll tell you, when you do, it feels great.
Yeah, definitely it's really difficult to get it right. And right now we can see one thing that I'm watching is Buster Racer getting always really close in this section of the track to Sparks, but once he does this final corner, we can see that the gap goes up to 5/10. I don't know if it's, yeah, it happens the same now, well, almost the same, but it's like in that final corner he's losing that time, and probably he would try the move, or maybe he's not interested in making it, and he is just doing it on purpose. As we can see, Kiski once again going for that move, and Lion overtaking his teammate once again, and LeBron is out. I don't know if he crashed. Yeah, I think it was just going out of the unsafety car. So we have now a different view. Like the perception of the race has changed completely. Yeah, tell me.
It's going to bring CRG Gamer back into this, who seemed to be slipping away from the front three. It's also going to help Loney catch up to the leaders, who's still on fresher tyres than them. Don't forget, he started in 11th place, so he's got fresher tyres out of anyone in the top 10. Even if it's that one lap, it's still making the difference for him, it seems.
But probably most of the guys will. Oh, and Phoenix gets a drive-through penalty. Probably most of the guys will have to pit. Well, not have to, but they will probably pit for hards, because this is the issue. From now till the end, you can easily go on hards. I mean, well, easily. You get, I think, 70% hards, but you have that pit gap, if you go now into the pits. So we'll have to keep an eye. Let's see. Sparks will go to the pits. Probably he will. Yeah, everyone is going to the pits. Buster Racer, Harrison, David. Yeah, definitely. Probably the William from CRG Gamer will do the same.
Both Williams have come into the pits, so are they going to try and double stack this?
I mean, there's 7-second gap, so it should be enough.
We hope so.
Oh, and probably not. Well,
No,
decent.
They hadn't got his tyres ready.
Well, he had a gap. He had a gap to Loney, so he doesn't lose any position. But yeah.
It was a gamble, but it seemed to work out. Now Phoenix leads this race.
Yeah, and look at Phoenix, because if he hadn't had that penalty, probably he would have some chances, of getting a good result today. But, well, meanwhile behind, Livid Racing Coin, he's on hards too. Probably he'll finish the race on softs, because now with the safety car, those hards can go easily till lap 21, lap 22. And I think that he'll try to finish on softs. So we'll have to keep an eye on at the end of the race to his strategy call.
Of course, the laps under the safety car right now are going to save a couple laps on those tyres. So even though we might be going from lap 9 to lap 29, these tyres will be in basically pristine condition. So they should be okay to last to the end. And there could be another safety car which could throw the race on its head, and they could come back in for medium tyres.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they have to keep an eye if there's another safety car. I can't remember. There was a race in another league, I think it was in PSL 2, in which they had like 3 safety car during the race, and there was a safety car just before the race ended, and we had 2 laps of crazy racing. So let's see what the safety car does, or how many times it appears in this race. But now it's gonna be pretty interesting to see what other guys do, because it seems like everyone has gone into the hards except the guys that started on the hards, and probably they'll get to the end of the race, but their tires will be on the limit. So probably after this lap the safety car will go in, and we should be back into racing. Who do you think right now has the best chances to win the race?
Right now I'm thinking that Sparks is probably in contention the most, because just because of the way he's held the lead so far. Of course, Phoenix is still going to have to come in for his drive-through penalty, but also Loney, I think, could maybe challenge into the podium positions. He's showing this race that he's quick enough and can challenge these guys, and now he finds himself right behind Gamer, who even before the safety car period he was catching up to. So you'd expect from 7th place right now, he's definitely going to catch up to these guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, probably that will be a key factor to this battle. Personally, I think that now, well, I don't know if in the second stint of the race they're gonna go hard, and try and battle. But definitely, right now, it will be the one that saves the tires the best. So now the safety car should go in. Definitely, we have the safety car in this lap. And we're gonna go back to racing. This happened, well, actually, we had a similar situation with, and that's Forbes. I don't know if he has damage. Yeah, I think he has. No, he doesn't. We had a similar situation with Phoenix being in front, with those used tires. So let's see what he does. If he tries to defend or what, we can see Sparks almost running into the back of Phoenix. And we now, and he's been really, really clever. He's slow. Oh, and that's gonna be interesting to see, because now Buster Racer has been affected by that, and he's now being overtaken by the Red Bull and the Ferrari. We can see a 4 wide. That's crazy. We can see many collisions right there, and some front wing. I don't know if some front wing went. And that's. Oh, Buster Racer went down to 11th, and look at Forbes, because Phoenix lost a lot of positions too, and we can see right now Lonnie up to 2nd. That's crazy. Forbes up to 3rd, but CRG Gamer has lost a lot of positions. The Mentalism guys have gained a lot of positions, but what just happened, it's crazy. And now Buster Racer will have to find a way to gain back those positions as he tries to go side by side into the inside of Kiski into turn 10, and he gains back the position, but he has to make an incredible comeback to at least have some options to score a podium today. As we'll now see if Lonnie had that pace, that it seemed he had in quali, to try and beat Sparks. It's gonna be interesting to see, because he couldn't do a decent lap on mediums, but now with the hards, let's see what he's capable of doing. I think one of the key factors, and tell me if you disagree, is to try and keep that gap under a second until the DRS is activated, because if he loses that second gap, I think the battle will be over.
Absolutely. Just gonna want to stay in that DRS range, and just hope that he can get a nice run. Maybe make his opponent can just make a mistake out of out of any corner really, which will give him a run with DRS.
Yeah, and right now I was watching the battle between Harrison David and CRG Gamer. CRG Gamer that tried to go into the inside of turn 1, but he couldn't manage to hold on round the outside on turn 2. And Harrison David holds that position, but we can see Buster Racer going for that dive into Coin, and he's now up to 9th. He knows that he needs to gain back those positions, and quickly.
Absolutely, it was completely. He was just a bystander and all of that. It was like almost 4 wide coming into turn 1, which just does not go, and he ended up going off the track. Now he's way down in 9th position. He's lost a handful, more than a handful. He's lost lots and lots of positions, which I'm sure he'd be gritting his teeth over. But now he just knows that he's got to pick up the pace and bring it to these guys, try and charge it back through the field.
And look at Kiski, because he was trying to have a look into the inside of Coin, but he was not close enough. But he'll now have a big chance to make it, reaching the turn 1. He's having that slipstream. He's getting even closer and closer. But is he gonna try to move? Yes, he does. He tries looking up into the inside. Oh, but he doesn't have that traction though. He tries to switch back, and probably he'll have the move done by turn 4. He's gonna dive into the inside, and I think Cohen doesn't want to hold on, or maybe he does. Nah, he stays back. And meanwhile at the front we can see Harrison David also making a comeback, overtaking Harrison David. And we can see Loney just 9/10 away, almost a second from Sparks. And if he's not able, like I think DRS was enabled in this lap or in the next one, he just needs to hold on one more lap and he'll have DRS. So let's see. Because right now Forbes is 1.6 away from Loney, so probably today he hasn't the pace to try and go for the win, but maybe he has the pace to try and defend that third spot today. And talking about that incident after the restart, it's curious because I don't even think there were four going side by side. I think it was even five after a late dive into the inside. So I have to agree that it was a bit crazy, that restart, and probably people like didn't think about the consequences. You know, they just went for the move and they didn't even think about what could happen. And we can see now Lion going round the outside. He's gonna try the move. They bang wheels. Is he gonna make the move work? Forbes holds the inside, but it's done. And what a move for the McLaren driver.
He's now into P3 and he was sitting in the low point scoring positions, but after that safety car restart, he capitalised on the mistakes of others. Now he's up 6 positions from where, 5, my mistake, from where he started. And he's up 6 from where he was after the restart, so he's put in a very strong shift. Now look at Forbes, with DRS open, Lion is almost a sitting duck here. Maybe the car also knows a bit too far back. Forbes now up into third position.
Oh, the traction!
Trying to switch back and he's trying to hold it round the
outside.
Here.
Amazing move by Lion, but Forbes is not gonna give up that easily and he goes back into the inside. But what a move we saw from Lion, trying to hold it round the outside, and that was almost an impossible move to see, but he almost made it work. And we can see now a 3-way battle as Harrison David catches this battle, but this pull and push between these guys are allowing the guys behind to catch up again. And we can see now the McLaren going into the inside on turn 1, and Forbes tries to have a better traction as he tries to hold it. Now he's gonna have DRS as Buster Racer and CRA Gamer fighting for P8, and now the Racing Point once again going round the outside in turn 4. He did it in the previous lap, and we can see once again doing the same move, but this time Lion tries to hold round the inside, and that could end badly as they make contact. And now the McLaren trying to make the move back, and now the Red Bull from Harrison David trying to take a look round the outside. Wow, I mean, now we're having a good race. They are just not caring about consequences. They're just trying to go for the move, and the Toro Rosso now side by side with Lion, and this is allowing Forbes to try and push and get and make a space. But look at the Red Bull now going into the inside. He's gonna try and make the same move as Lion did. No, he doesn't. He tries to go now round into the inside. Good move from Harrison David as he goes up to P5, but it's not over yet. The Toro Rosso was going to try, but he backed off a little bit as he's waiting for that DRS zone to come. As Loney puts the fastest lap as he has closed the gap, and he's now 4/10 behind Sparks. What an intense race. And look at Buster Racer now trying to have a look into the inside of Nathan. He's gonna make it work. Yes, he does, and he goes up to 7th. What a comeback from Buster Racer. I think he's making a good comeback.
Well, it's all the battling from the other guys up ahead of him that's brought him back into this race, and now he's almost within touching distance of a podium position, even though he's in 7th place. He's closing up to the back of Frederick in that Toro Rosso for P6. But I do agree, Buster Racer's looking to make a strong comeback.
Definitely the hot spot of the race is the battle for P3, as we are watching like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers in that battle. So right now it's like the most interesting part of the race. And we can see Kiski trying to move on CRG Gamer that I think he's having. Oh, CRG Gamer has damage. That's why he was having some issues to try and keep that position. That's unlucky for the William driver. That's unfortunate because he was having a good race, and yeah, that front wing damage. Yes, he's going into the pits. He started well and he had big chances to try and finish on the podium, but look at that, Buster Racer gaining another position, but this time it's not that easy as the Toro Rosso make his back in around the outside of turn 2, if I'm not wrong, and now he's having a look in turn 4. They are going side by side. No, they don't. And Buster Racer gains another position. Now he's up to P6, and Harrison David overtook Lion. So he's now behind Forbes, and Harrison David is looking strong. But even stronger comes Buster Racer behind.
They're all keeping it tight-knit in this battle here. They're all in a long DRS train. So if Harrison David can close the gap up to Forbes, and with DRS assistance on the main straight or maybe second straight, to try a dive bomb and get up into a podium position where he was before the safety car restart, but now he's lost touch to the front two, which, by the way, has separated it to now 1.5 seconds. So I think Sparks has turned it up a notch, and he's broken away from Loney, so now Loney's not going to have DRS assistance anymore, which is unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and he's losing time continuously, and we can see now Harrison David with DRS trying to maybe try a move, and we can see Buster Racer closing up to Lion. Buster Racer is making an intelligent comeback, I have to say. He is waiting to make the move on the straight with DRS, and meanwhile he just saved ERS during the rest of the lap. So he's been clever, and right now behind oh, and look at that, the Lion makes a mistake. Meanwhile behind, Frederick and Nathan trying to hold on to these guys, but they haven't tried a single move. They were actually higher. Oh, we can see yellow flags is going. Who spun, and I think he was on mediums. Yeah, he speeded. And now he has front wing damage, and I don't even know if there was contact between CRG Gamer and Cohen, because they were together fighting, I think.
Both pulled into the pits at the same time. What CRG Gamer can only hope for is another safety car to bring him back into this race.
Yeah, definitely.
He had the pace this weekend.
I think that maybe he could go to P11. I think he has much more pace than Konoha, but yeah, then Kilcree is way too far. So yeah, his only hope is that, and we can see now Buster Racer taking a look into the inside. He does it. He breaks late, and Lion tries to do the switch back. He's now having a better traction. Buster Racer is now under pressure of Lion, and let's see, because they almost no side by side, but the McLaren tries to hold still, and look at that, they still side by side. Will the McLaren try to hold that inside into that sort of faces? No, he doesn't. But another position gained by Buster Racer, and now he's up to 5th.
Buster Racer is closing up on this podium position lap by lap, and he's just a bit adrift from Harrison David. I think Harrison David's DRS assistance on Forbes is helping him keep his gap to Buster Racer here.
Yeah, definitely. But probably I think that Harrison David has been saving, and I think that now that he knows that Buster Racer is just behind, I honestly think that he's gonna try the move on Forbes because he knows that he needs that, because if not, Buster Racer will overtake him, and if he gets past Forbes, he's not gonna have the chance to make it back probably. Oh, and he goes deep into braking. He taps Forbes, and that's gonna allow Buster Racer to be just behind, 5/10 away. But nah, it's still not close. So now the Red Bull will try to start thinking about making the move on Forbes as Forbes goes deep, and Harrison David might try to go for a move there as CRG Gamer sets the fastest lap on track.
Those fresh medium tyres are helping Gamer right now, but unfortunately he's 12 seconds back from Kornhoff right now, so he's he's pretty much out of this race. On this DRS straight, you'd have to think that Harrison David is quick enough to catch up to Forbes. No, he's not. He's not close enough to make the move down now. It's turn 11. Hopefully he can stay in touch and make the move into turn number 1. That's my only thought of where he could go. Buster Race is just hanging on behind, watching the show unfold.
But look at that now, Harrison David 2/10 away, and probably he'll try the move in turn 1. Let's see what happens. Now he'll have some DRS, but he'll have to keep an eye on Buster Racer, because Buster Racer will probably try too. The Red Bull will try around the outside, Forbes will have the inside, and let's see if he tries to hold it. No, he can't. And now Harrison David is up to third, and watch out because watch out with the Racing Point, because he might try to move back, and we can see Buster Racer also really close from Forbes, as probably this battle will keep on going for the next laps.
Only 8 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and there goes Buster Racer.
That's a bold move.
Into 4th position. That was pretty much out of the blue. Forbes was not expecting it, and they make a little bit of contact there. And now only 1 position lies between Buster Racer and a podium.
And Buster Racer, I have to say, he was clever, because he knew that if he kept behind Forbes, Forbes would have the chance to overtake Harrison David, and if that battle keep on going, he would lose a lot of time. So intelligent, and look at CRG Gamer, because I think he lost the car in sector 2, and we have a safety car. What an end to this race we're gonna have. What an end.
I'm gonna encourage these guys.
Everyone is
to the pits now.
Yeah, everyone is going to the pits. Wow, this is what we needed. I mean, we were already having insane battling, you know, at the restart with almost... Oh, and Kilcrew gets that right through. Unlucky for him. Oh, and is that Forbes staying out?
Yes, it is. Forbes is gonna gamble and stay out. Here.
I think that's like committing suicide.
Yeah, no, it's not good from him. All these guys are gonna fit soft tires, but Buster Racer has gone onto the mediums. Unlike the front 2 drivers, Sparks and Loney, they've fitted the softs. It seems to be a split decision throughout everyone. Some guys have faith in the softs that they can go to the end, but some guys are playing it safe and are going to go on the slower, yet have better longevity medium tyres.
I mean, you will really have like 5 laps of racing, as I think that safety car will go in lap 23, at the end of lap 23. But what I think is that the softs will be good for those first laps, but then in the end they're gonna be dead, because this is what they remember, that at the start of the race I said that in PSGL happened exactly the same, that we had here a safety car coming out in the last couple of laps, and here we are having the same situation. And in PSL actually there were 2 drivers that that were in hards and mediums. The guy on mediums and on hards were able to hold that position till the final lap. I mean, they lost it, but just on the final lap. So they were still in the podium, but they lost P1 and P2. So probably here we'll see something similar. I don't know. Forbes has a big chance, but we know that Sparks has a massive pace compared to Forbes, and with those softs, ooh, I don't know. I don't know how fast this Sparks gonna overtake him.
It was definitely the wrong decision for Forbes to stay out here because now he's got an entire field of drivers on fresh, soft or medium tyres whilst he's on 13 lap old hards.
But
It's,
I don't know. I don't really know if it's the wrong decision because, as I told you in that league, happened the same, and probably he knows that if he goes to soft or mediums or whatever, maybe he's not gonna be able to fight for the podium, and maybe this way he can. Probably he's not. His objective probably is not to win. Probably is just a third spot. And to be honest, oh wait, because now Cohen and the Racing Point are far away, and probably they won't catch this lap, so probably will be until lap 24. But what I mean is that with 5 laps remaining, or 4, depending on the number of laps we get to race, Forbes will have an opportunity to try and hold that podium because maybe he's not targeting the win. He's just targeting the third place. So let's see what happens. I don't think he has definitely failed the strategy. I just think his target is different.
it's a big risk from him because it can go one or the other way really. He could either lose the 2 positions to the soft runners of Loney and Sparks and maintain a 3rd spot, or he could get swamped by everybody. But he is going to be controlling the start this time. Not this time. Well, we don't know yet. But whenever the safety car comes back in, so we could maybe try and stack up the field a little bit. Maybe try and catch everyone off guard.
I mean, Forbes. Like if I was Forbes, I would try. Yeah, and safety car is gonna stay one more lap, it seems. If I was Forbes, I would try to go. Oh no, it's going in this lap. All right, because the Racing Point definitely was able to catch up. But if I was Forbes, I would try and hold the pack till the finish line. So let's see what he does. If he does exactly that, we'll see carnage into turn 1. If he doesn't, then it's gonna be an interesting race, and he's going really slow. I don't know if he has. Yeah, he starts to push, and we can see now Loney trying to have a look, but that slipstream that Forbes is giving to Sparks is definitely helping the Williams to try and go for the move. Forbes is gonna try and hold that. Oh, and look at that, both of them try the move, and we can see the Racing Point trying, and we can see behind. Oh, Buster Racer once again losing some spots. And Forbes.
Alison David up the inside of 2 drivers at once. They're 3 wide coming into turn number 4.
Harrison
now,
David
gonna get the best of it. Loney.
Ooh.
He's gonna
Forbes
take
pushed
3rd
wide.
position. See, Forbes, the pace difference is just monumental for these guys.
Oh yeah, look at that! Look at that!
Kisty and Kilcree are side by side in the back right now, for only 9th position. We won't focus on that too much.
Yeah, definitely. I have to give you the reason. I mean, I was trying to make the argument that probably Forbes was having in his mind work, but yeah, definitely, as it seems right now, it was the wrong choice. And maybe if he had done it better, probably it could have worked. I don't know, but yeah, it was a mistake, and definitely he should have tried and give the slipstream to Loney instead of Sparks. That would have helped him massively. Right now, Sparks has already created a 1 second gap. Well, or almost a 1 second gap. So probably the fight once again will be in that midfield. As we can see that Harrison David has created a 1.3 gap to Forbes, and now it's Detro Ross, so trying to go around the outside as he makes it work, but look at that traction though. Forbes doesn't want to give up, and he almost loses the back end of the car as they go side by side, but look at that Renault trying to go through the middle of both of them, and he makes the move work, and now Forbes remains in P5, but the Toro Rosso is having a look into the inside, and Forbes keeps the... I mean, this is insane, but look at that McLaren now. Making the move on Forbes, and Forbes is just losing position after position. He's just not being able to defend. And now Buster Racer 2.2 behind Harrison David. So interesting situation what we have here right now.
You can see that Forbes' hamasha was really that he stayed out on those tyres. He could have had a solid P4 or maybe even P5.
P5, yeah.
Pits. But he's now down in 7th. He's in the grasp of McLaren of Kilcree. If Kilcree can get past the line here, then McLaren would have had a really good day. 6th and 7th for them. On these soft tyres, only 3 laps old, so they're still in prime condition. You really should believe that Kilcree will get past Forbes here. And
Kilcree had damage? I know, that was the penalty he had. The drive-through.
That's unlucky for him.
Yeah, he was in the middle of the fight and he was probably looking for a P6 probably. But yeah, now his chances are over and that's a pity for Kilcree. Right now we are probably on the final lap. We can get a safety car. If no one crashes, then we won't have. And there's yellow flags in sector 3. Nah, it's just a mistake of the game. And yeah, Frederick is now holding that P5, and we can see Buster Racer is not being able to reduce that gap under those 2 seconds.
2-second gaps is pretty far, to be honest, and it's one thing to close up to a driver and it's another to overtake them. So I think Buster Racer just might have to bank on this P4 finish and let Harrison David go. But I wouldn't back off if I were Buster, because only 4 laps to go in this Grand Prix. You might as well go all out, and they are still improving on their times.
Yeah,
Sparks has really been in control.
Yeah, definitely. And right now, probably the last hope that the medium runners have is that soft runners start to fall down. Well, their tires start to get to the cliff, you know. So
Absolutely.
Let's see what happens, because there's still 3 laps remaining. And we still have an interesting race. I mean, I think that P2 is not secured for Lonnie. And meanwhile, behind, we have a battle going on between Forbes, Kiski, and Nathan. As we can see, Nathan and Nathan almost... Kiski and Nathan side by side. But now Kiski takes a look into the inside of Forbes. Forbes tries to hold it round the outside, but that's just impossible. And that's another position lost. And Nathan is now trying to have a look on Forbes. Will he try the dive? Yes, he does. A bit late. He makes contact on the side pod of Forbes. But they are now side by side into turn 9 and 10. And Forbes keeps the inside. Nathan makes an intelligent switchback. And now Forbes have the slipstream and the DRS. But is he gonna try the move? Once again, they touch, they bank cars, and now Forbes will try to hold round the outside as they almost make contact, and now Forbes is trying to get back that position. But watching that, Nathan is not having that superiority, you know, on those tires. Maybe it gives us an indicator that maybe those softs are starting to fall off, as Nathan tried to back off to have DRS.
I just want to bring your attention back up towards the front. Buster Racer now in the space of just about 1 lap or so brought the gap down to almost 1 second to Harrison David. So I think I made a pretty big mistake that he wasn't going to get to Harrison here. But now Buster Racer seems like he's in contention for a podium position.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was looking while I was watching this battle between Nathan and Forbes, and yeah, definitely Buster Racer was... I don't know if the Red Bull made a mistake or what, but he's back in the fight for P3. And look at that, because it's the racing point from Forbes hitting the wall. I think that was Nathan's fault. And Yeah, definitely he's out of the points now. He made a mistake with strategy, and now we have a freeway battle for that for P8. So let's see what happens. We still have one lap well, now we'll be on the final lap, and we'll have to see if Faster Racer is able to overtake Harrison David, because he'll only have one chance, like Lose Yourself song says. Um, he'll only have one shot, and
He's
he's
not
good.
opening DRS. It's strange. He might have a DRS problem here.
Yeah, maybe he does, but this is gonna make it even better for us, because there might be more emotion in it. But it seems like he loses. No, definitely it sounds like if he could open DRS, but it doesn't appear like if he opened DRS. It's weird, I have to say. Meanwhile, behind, we have a battle going on for P5. We have many battles, and it's the final lap. I don't know what will happen. I don't know if Blaster Racer will have one more chance to overtake Harrison David. Without that DRS, as you say, it will be pretty impossible to try and go for the move. As we can see, Forbes finally retire.
Such bad luck for Vasta Racer there, because if he had DRS available to him, he would have been able to overtake Harrison David and take a third position, but Mother Luck was just not on his side today.
Yeah, now we're going on board with Sparks. He led it all the race. He was the man today, and he definitely deserved these wins, as he takes the first win of the season. And Lonnie, after an incredible comeback, gets second, and Harrison David in the end keeps P3. Meanwhile, behind, Buster Racer fourth. Unlucky for him, he should have been in the fight for the win. And Frederick gets fifth after Lions penalties. Kiski 6th, Lion 7th, Kornhoff 8th, Phoenix 9th, Cohen 10th, and outside the top 10, Nathan and Kilcree. What a race we've seen today. I have to say it has been amazing. We've seen many battles going on. Those safety cars gave us a really good race, and definitely, at least myself, I've enjoyed.
I am inclined to agree. That was an incredible race, and I was glad to have commentated over it.
And right now, well, that was top 3, yeah. Sparks, Loney, and Harrison David. Probably, if I have to choose a driver of the day, I would say Loney, definitely. I mean, when I saw him in quali, I thought, nah, he doesn't have any chance to make a comeback, or at least to get P2, and he, in the end, did get P2. So for me, it's driver of the day, definitely. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree that Buster Racer had really bad luck there. He didn't deserve that race, because probably he was on a good chance to win, and yeah, he was. Those chances were taken away. I'm inviting people the podium for the interview. So yeah, it's been overall. I think it has been a really good race. But about Sparks, he made a perfect race. But I think that Loney, in the position he was, and the way he was driving, he definitely deserved that drive of the day for me. But yeah, I can understand why you voted Sparks. So There's an echo going on. I don't know if there's someone with a mic with echo. Oh no. Let's see.
Everyone unplug their mic. Do that again.
Yeah. Oh. Well. There's a bit of echo, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna start with the interview, and I'm gonna start with the third finisher that was David, Harrison David. Hello.
Hello, I'm quickly 2 seconds. I'm quickly allowing it to be shared online.
All right.
There we go.
All right. So, you qualified, sorry, in P4, if I'm not wrong. You had a decent race. I don't know if my first question is gonna be if the safety car affected your race in any way, if it was in a positive way or in a negative way.
The first safety car definitely affected me and Vasta Racer in a very bad way. We both, at least I got jumped by some hard runner, and then Sparks got jumped by another hard runner. But yeah, we were pulling away from Gamer at the start, so we had about a 4-second lead. So yeah, it definitely affected us at the start.
Then the second safety car, we could say that you were saved.
Yes and no. I think because we were battling for third anyway, so it was around the same thing. But it just made it a lot more interesting. We had a chance of getting back at the front too, but unfortunately I picked the wrong tyre choice. I thought that maybe the soft tyres might go off a lot quicker than I thought.
In the final lap, we could say that Buster Racer was 7/10 and going closing up that gap, but he didn't have the DRS. I don't know if it was an issue with DRS or what, but he couldn't open it. Did you feel relieved after seeing that he didn't have that DRS?
I mean, to be fair, I didn't know he didn't have DRS, but my ERS was really low, so in a way, I kind of was like equaled out in a way, because I was on less than 10% ERS, so it definitely made for a heart-beating last lap.
Well, I have to take a look. Well, I have Sparks here, so I can ask him directly. What's next track?
Let me check for you.
Wow.
It is. Next track is Italy.
Italy. Oh. David, how do you feel for Italy? Do you think you have a good pace around there?
Italy is good. I'm strong at Italy, so yeah, I think that should be a very interesting race. It's another DRS race, so it's just battle of the pit stops really. See who can lose DRS and see who can gain some extra time.
Yeah, I agree there. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Do you have a question for Harrison?
How do you feel that you managed to take the podium? I suppose very strong race from you. You said you didn't have much practice, so how does that make you feel?
I'm really glad, to be fair, because especially with the safety cars, I made for some interesting overtakes. Like when you know you have a somewhat slower driver in front, you've got to make that move as quick as possible to get back to the front. So yeah, it was definitely a fun race, a very action-packed race. But yeah, ready for early.
Great job, Tom.
So, thank you for joining. Congratulations on your P3 and good luck on Italy.
Thank you.
Well, I'll let you, B8 Field, if you want to interview BRT Lonnie.
Alright. So, Lonnie, how do you feel that you managed to climb from P11, managed to take second place?
I don't know. It was a great race. I had a good pace. In my quali lap was very bad. I couldn't do a lap with the mediums, so I had to start in P11. And I was thinking about to start with hards, but then in the last second I changed. I said, well, I will try with the mediums. So the first corner was okay. Could manage my position, and then the first safety car, I was so happy about the safety car, because after the safety car I was in P2, but I couldn't keep the pace of Sparks. It was too fast.
Alright, how do you feel coming into Italy next week? Do you think you can once again challenge for podium positions and maybe even the win?
I'm not bad, but I don't think. Maybe top 5, but a win or podium will be very difficult in Italy for me.
But you done really well today. Top job, mate.
Thanks.
Well, we now go with the winner, unsurprisingly, taking all the fun to the race. We go with Sparks. Hello, mate.
Hello.
Probably you're really happy with that P1, seeing how close you and Buster Racer were. After that safety car, he was sadly taken out of the win, the battle for the win. Were you relieved when you saw that he was falling down so many places?
Well, yeah, obviously I was very relieved when I saw him tumble down, but I didn't really like to focus on it too much because there was still 20 odd laps to go. But yeah, it was quite a good sight to say the least.
Did the safety car help you? Like, it didn't change much, you were still first, but did it in any way help you?
In some ways it did. It helped me pull away after all the chaos behind me. But I don't really know. I mean, in some ways, the first safety car, after that one, I was just tire saving in the hards because they were not going to make it if you push. So I was tire saving the whole way. So in some way it helped, in some way it didn't. But yeah, don't want to look too much in the past, but it was a good race.
Next week we have Italy. Your teammate today, that was your previous contender last season, didn't do well in Bahrain, but do you think you will be able to repeat the win on Italy and keep that lead going on?
Well, I hope so. Italy's never really been my strong track, but who knows? I've not done it in a while, so could have improved there. But we'll see. See it next week at Saturday. But yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see because Italy's one of the tracks that I'm not amazing at.
Well, let's hope that you can have a good race there. And P8 Field, do you have any question for Sparks?
As we know that you topped most of the laps and you dominated the race, but did you come into this weekend thinking that you'd be so dominant?
No. In AOR, I was slower than I was now. I was expecting Vaster to be really quick, and no doubt he was quick, but he just didn't go his way. But no, I definitely didn't think it'd be this dominant. I thought Gamer would be higher up, but yeah, he wasn't.
So, I guess that's the interview done. Congratulations on your win, and good luck for Italy. So, we're ending the streaming here. It has been a pleasure to commentate today with B8 Field. I think it has been a great race. We've seen many action going on track, and I don't know if you have the same thoughts, B8 Field. That it has been a great race. That if you have the same thoughts.
Absolutely, this was one of my favorite races to commentate over.
So we're ending the streaming here. Thank you for everyone that joined. If I'm not wrong, at 8 we have HTA assist tier, I don't know if there will be
Yes.
a stream up. Probably yes. I hope so.
Yeah, there will be.
All right, so keep tuned for that. And next week we'll be back with round 2 in Italy. So subscribe and like if you like the race. And we'll be I don't know how to talk today. And we'll be back next week with Italy. Thank you, and till next week.